Good evening! We're getting straight into it this video because I want to talk fast this video because I have a lot to say, but I don't want it to be too long. Modern day, we see, I've already made a few videos about this, but modern day, we have this big mentality of it is over. So many people, it's a bystander effect, honestly. There's so many people that are told it's insanely unrealistic. Only this 5% of people can do this, can achieve this, blah, 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 blah. Nobody, like very few people ever stop to think, what if I'm that 5%? So you'll see in the thumbnail of this video that I have a chud, as the interneters would call it. That was so cringe. The interneters. That was awful. That was really bad. That the people of the internet would call a chud. And then we have another chud on the other side. The only two differences is the mentality. These men are both chuds. Neither is a Giga Chad. Neither is even LTN, if you're into the black pill, which I'm not, but I do, it gets shoved down my throat a lot online, so I do know some of the terminology, because this old noggin holds a lot of knowledge. You see so many people just accepting things at face value that it's over. It's Jover. That's a reference, I think. Epic reference, you know? If I knew how to edit, I would put that in like big old labels. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll actually take some time editing this video instead of just sticking the clips together. Anyways. I am here to tell you that even if you are a chud, it is only what's in here that matters. Only. We see one of them sitting, crying. His shirt says billions must cry. He also has glasses, but that's unrelated. No, it's kind of not. People look like... No, I'm kidding. And then the other guy, he's bleeding. So you'll see the other guy, he's perfectly fine, except for the tears. The other guy, he's perfectly fine. He's got his hands up. Well, he's got one hand up and the other one tucked, which, by the way, if you're not a boxer, that's called the hitman stance. I'm forgetting the guy who came up with it. I've studied so many of that guy's fights, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name right now. Anyways, you'll see him, blood, very bruised. And yet he says, it's over, with a question mark. I don't hear no bell. Now, you could take this face value if you are a incel, a chud, a foid, if you will. But I would dare you to employ your inner thought and go, maybe he does not have a concussion. Maybe the bell did not ring. Maybe instead the crowd is yelling for him to throw in the towel, to just give up. I want you to put yourself in the shoes, the boxing shoes of this chud, and think, what would I do in this situation? Now, a lot of folks, I'm not going to say it again. I was going to say interneters. I'm not going to do that again. That was so bad. It was so bad. It was so cringe. A lot of Diddy Bloods. A lot of Diddy Bloods would give up in this situation. Everyone around us is screaming, yelling, throwing the towel. It's over. But the fact is, there's still a few rounds left. And this round's bell has not rung. Which means there is no excuse to sit down other than yourself and your own mind. See, it doesn't matter what other people perceive you as or what other people perceive the situation as. It only matters what's in your mind here and what you tell yourself and what you decide. And I know I don't look like someone that would be saying this. Honestly, if I made this video a week ago, I would point out eye bags, but I have been doing better with my sleeping schedule. I just want to brag about that real quick. I've been going to sleep around like 10:30. For adults, that doesn't sound bad. Or kids. For kids, that sounds normal. But other teenagers, no. Majority of us are staying up until like 12 or past Was my hand transparent for a second there? Probably not. Anyways. A lot of people would like just assume that's not a big deal, but for me it is a big deal. My whole life I have not been very good with my sleeping schedule. I mean, you can see I have everlasting eye bags. You can get, especially if I tilt my head down, you can hear like that. You see them from a side. You can see them from a side angle. Like I don't think they're ever gonna go away. But I mean, look at me. I got messy hair, which I mean that is kind of the hairstyle. I'm wearing some crappy Vans. What's it called? Not a sweater. It's not a hoodie, I don't think, because the hoodies have the... This doesn't have it. Sweatshirt. It's called a sweatshirt. And matter of fact, I am sweating because I do live in Florida and it is hot inside my house. But for your sake, I don't have the fan on so that you don't have to hear it. Anyways, back to being in this chud's shoes. Most of us Diddy Bloods, would immediately give up. And you wouldn't expect me to say, you know, what I'm saying, because I mean, just take a look at me. I already kind of listed some things off. I don't want to say I have a sleeper build, because I'm not jacked, but like, I kind of know what I'm doing, like a little bit, you know, like I kind of know. Like I work out a lot. I'm also a boxer, if you couldn't tell from my earlier little tangent about, I feel like that's kind of like, Tommy Hearns, is that his name? I think that's his name. I don't think I think Tommy Hearns. Anyways, unrelated. Right, most people would give up. I'm here to tell you that you don't have to. It is only your mind that matters. In your perspective. In your perspective, you are the main character. I don't care what your mindset is currently. If you're currently an incel, a chud, a loser that thinks very negatively all the time and is a pessimist and probably is thinking to yourself, this guy's just yapping about nothing. Well, you know what, Diddy Blood? You foid. You chud. You sub 3, I'm here to tell you what I've been saying is a truth nuke. Checkmate, liberals. Doesn't matter. Boom. I just got them. I just got them all. Including you if you're one of them. Look at me. Look at me in my eyes. I know. I'm aware of everything. And I see you right now. Anyways, I'm here to tell you, you don't have to be the billion's most cry loser with his glasses, his loser glasses. No, I'm kidding. You can, if you, like half my family wears glasses. And I probably will need them at some point. I'm here to tell you, you can be the chud in the red corner. You can be the chud that despite being bleeding and bruised and tired, fatigued, sore, whatever you want to say, you can be the chud that doesn't hear the bell. You. Another story that I would like to use is that penguin from a while ago. Not a while ago, probably like a month or two ago. That was on everyone's For You page for like a week, and then everyone kind of forgot about him. That like motivated a lot of men and probably some women, I don't know, I'm not a girl, into believing that they can be the one. See, it's not going to sound the same coming from me. I think half of the reason it sounds good is because the name, or the voice, the accent that the guy that was doing the documentary has. But he says, this penguin refuses to go back left to the colony, but he refuses to go right to the feeding grounds. Instead, this penguin, for a while, he stands in the middle, and he walks to the mountains. Now, scientifically, that means the penguin is mentally ill and is trying to kill himself, but for a lot of people, it motivated them to realizing, I don't have to be a loser. I can just go. No one's stopping me. Is there years of indoctrination that's making me think I'm... Yes. But at the end of the day, it's you. It is you that matters. It's only what's in your head up here. So I just want you to remember that not only is this a truth nuke, but that you and me, we're different, okay? You hear, a few years ago, right, when Andrew Tate was still a popular guy, I hate that guy, by the way, when that guy was still a popular guy, he said, in order for there to be winners, there has to be losers. And now there is some truth to that, but I don't see why we can't be 99% winners and 1% loser. We are America. Sorry, I'm just trying to be patriotic. There's probably some people watching my videos that aren't American. But, like, isn't that great? You know, like, you have the potential to do whatever you want. You can be that 5%. Somebody has to do it, all right? Everybody's being told that they can't. It'd be pretty easy for you to be that 5%, considering the fact that the other 95% is already convinced that they can't. Like, it's really obvious to me, actually, but a lot of people don't think the same way that I do. I've literally found... I've only interacted with one person that I think thinks the same way that I do, and that's my pastor at this very niche church that I go to. There's like 50 people per service. And it's my pastor there. I think he thinks very similar to me. In fact, I've been sitting while he's preaching and being like, I've literally had this exact thought pattern before, and I'm able to predict what he's going to say next. And then the other one is Joe Bartolozzi, which, I mean, everyone knows who Joe Bart is. Joe Bart's the GOAT. I mean, he's hilarious. But it's also, I mean, he's a philosophy major. Like, he thinks a lot. He's good. Anyways, time to show the item of the day. Let me fetch it for you. Boom, we're back. Bagpipes, baby. Do I know how to play them? Not at all, actually. No, I don't at all. I just heard something outside and thought I made like a little bit of noise. I was probably about to sit and try to figure this out for like 10 minutes because of that little bit of noise I heard. And it was a car. It wasn't even the bagpipes. But I got these as a gift from family friends. We're family friends. Fun fact, by the way, 2 of them are in Marvel. I'm not going to say who, just for privacy. They're not, like, important characters, but they're also not, like, background characters. Like, I think they only appear once. But they're, like, kind of a story point. Anyways. The dad of this family gave this to me as a little gift because we met... Oh, is there a hole in this? Maybe that's why it won't play. He gave this to me as a gift, and I remember he played it, like, we were at Epcot at Disney, and he played it, and a few heads turned around, and then he handed it to me, and I wiped it off with my shirt before putting it on, and him and his wife were like, oh my God, you're so smart, good job, we're so glad you know how to do that, we're so glad that was your first thought, and as a kid, I was like, this is just common sense. But you know what? It always feels good to be glazed. Not saying it doesn't. It always feels good to be glazed. Anyways, on the bed you go. Good morning, good noon, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I really wish someone would tell me if good noon is a thing. Also, there is a Q&A at 25 subscribers, so please subscribe and like my videos so that people will finally watch them. Thank you.